Welcome to the Fantasy Thinker. I'm Jared, and it's time once again for the monthly update. This is for October 2025, and what an interesting month it's been. September, that is. So we'll be going over everything I read in September and what I'm reading now and what is up and coming on the docket here. So um, yeah, let's get right into it. We got a lot of stuff to go over. First thing I finished in September was Orbital by Samantha Harvey. We read this for Speculations. It is kind of a large novella. It's a short novel. I mean, it's in between there, and it's about a picture from space. Basically, it's a description of astronauts and how the Earth looks and all the rotations, the orbitals around the Earth, and just some of the things they do up there. You can see my review on this on my channel, and wasn't my favorite book of the year. You know, not the worst book of the year, but still, it was. I found it a little boring, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful writing. Um, take that for what it is. I also finished Conan and the Living Plague out of the Conan City of the Dead collection. There's two novels in here by John C. Hocking, and Conan and the Living Plague was a lot of fun, a ton of fun actually, and I also did a short review on this alongside Orbital, so I did a comparative analysis of both of the writing styles in those books, and so you can see that as well on my channel. But yeah, absolutely love what Titan Books is doing with the Conan property. It's a lot of fun. It's not Robert E. Howard, of course, but it's still pretty cool. And I don't know. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So you got that Conan and the Living Plague. Yes, I also read Blood Follows by Steven Erikson as part of the short fiction side hustle series I have going here on my channel. And we were also reading this as a read along on pagechewing.com as well. And so Blood Follows, of course, was the first novel, short story, short novella of the Bacalane and Kobo Broach series of novellas by Steven Erikson. It's the Volume 1 collection of Bacalane and Kobo Broach, and a lot of fun. I really love these novellas. They're a blast. They take place in the Malazan universe, but they can be read by themselves. And really great stuff. Really great stuff. Okay. I also finished really quickly here a graphic novel called The Serpent in the Garden. Ed Gray and the Last Battle for England. This is by Mike Mignola, Ben Stenbeck, and Dave Stewart. Of course, Mignola is the person behind the whole Hellboy universe, from the world of Hellboy. And so this was actually really cool. Really great artwork by Stenbeck, and it was a really nice wrap up to the whole Hellboy saga. Even though Hellboy himself is maybe on one page in here, because all right, it's hard to say anything without giving away the big oomph in this universe. But this is a nice wrap up to Hellboy. It's a nice wrap up to the story of Ed Gray, and I just thought it was very well done. It read very quick. It almost read like a single issue. Even though there's like 3 or 4 separate comics in here. But and this is a nice hardcover. I really like those from Dark Horse Comics. All right, finish that. Now the doozy. I finished this month after over 2.5 years in the making. I finished The Wars of Light and Shadow by Janie Wirtz. I finished Song of the Mysteries, Book 11 in The Wars of Light and Shadow. This was an amazing journey. And I gotta really thank all the people who read it with me and who helped us out along the way. My friends Vasha from Reading by the Rainy Mountain, Chris from the Chronicle of Chris, yeah, and then Chibi Po, um, and of course Jenny Wirtz herself, for guiding us along this journey, and really, and all the other contributors, all the other people who started out reading this with us as well. It all helped to move things along and make this journey enjoyable. It kept us going. It's a very, very long series with very, very big, thick books, and I think it's just amazing that we all got through it together. And I think it's an amazing accomplishment. And even more so, it's an amazing accomplishment by the author, Janie Wirtz. It's just over 50 years in the making, this 11 book humongous series, and it wrapped up very nicely. And I think, on a satisfying note, I really just am stunned. I'm still a little overwhelmed by it all because I just finished it this morning. And so there's a lot to unpack right now, and I'll be thinking about it a lot for the next week, before our talk with Janie, live next Sunday. All right, on the 12th. So that's the big, the big thing that I finished this week. All right. So what else am I reading right now? I am still making my way through Perils of the Past by Kane Williams. Um, and this was given to me as an arc. It's been slow going. I've been really busy at work, so I haven't had the time to really get much done in this. I'm about 35% or so the way through, and I feel bad about that because it's my current self pub read, and I would like to get through those a little quicker than this. But things happen, and so I'm gonna, next week I should be able to bear down and get into this a little more and finish it off at the first half of October. I don't see any problem with that. So that is that one right now, and hopefully I'll have a better handle on the story the next time I do an update on this one, and the next time, and I'll have a better a better inkling of what the author was going for here. All right. Also, I am in the middle of the Wind Up Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami. This is my first Murakami book, and this is part of the literary science fiction bracket we're doing on Page Chewing. And I am over halfway through this book right now, just about done part 2. And what a fascinating story, a fascinating character. There's a lot in here to think about, and there's a little bit of a little tiny bit of magical realism going into this book. So fantasy rules. All right. Wind Up Bird Chronicle coming. All right. So we're I'm also in the middle of reading A Desolation Called Peace by Arkady Martine. This is for the Speculation podcast, and about almost halfway through this book right now, and enjoying it immensely. This is a great space opera. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of deep moments in here, a lot of great character interaction, and I'm enjoying the heck out of this second book in a duology. The first one was called A Memory Called Empire, and this is A Desolation Called Peace, and it's a duology. And this second book has the potential to surpass the first one. Having a blast with it, and the first one was great. So really, really fun. Desolation Called Peace. Okay. So now some of this other stuff I finished for the month, I should say, not the week. First, my comic book of the month. That's how I'm going to break down my comics. I read a bunch of comics, and this is the one that stood out above all others. It was a tough choice, but because I read a lot of cool comics, but this one was the best of the month. Good as Dead, #1 from Image Comics by David Lapham. Anybody familiar with his name would know him from the series Stray Bullets, independently published series by him, and it's a classic now, Stray Bullets, and this is this is another great start to a new series he's doing. I think it's going to be ongoing, and I'm looking forward to more from this series. His handle on the introduction of characters and just really how quickly he lets us in on this little world he created in this book is fun. Is really good, really really good. All right, so that's my comic book of the month. And what else am I working on here? I read another short story out of Tales Before Tolkien, and this one was, what the hell was it called? The Story of Alowina by Austin Tappan Wright. And this is let's see, this was an excerpt from Islandia, History and Description by Jean Perrier, first French consul to Icelandia, translated by John Lang, first American consul. So this was a story of this place called Islandia. It was just an excerpt from a larger text, which I'm not a big fan of in these short story collections. I'd rather have a complete short story. It was interesting because he created this Islandia, Islandia, I think, place, and he created tons of material around it, just like Tolkien did. And it was kind of a part of Earth, but in a separate place. I guess maybe like an Atlantis type island type of place. But and it was okay. It was, like I said, it's just an excerpt from a bigger text, so you got the gist of what it all is about, but you didn't get really a full story, and it just kind of read a little bit like some history making, mythology building. So it was okay. It was pretty cool. All right. Read some more short stories from the Big Book of Science Fiction for Speculations. Those are all pretty good, and also read another little tale from Chinese myths and folk tales. This one was funny. It's called Mr. Chu, the Considerate Husband, and this is how considerate he is, right? He dies, right? Uh, his family said, no, he can't go. Bring him back, and so he made up his mind to return. And he said, the only reason I came back was to take my wife with me. And the wife's like, wait a minute, I don't want to die. And he's like, no, you have to. And everybody like there's a whole bunch of witnesses here. There's a whole bunch of people standing around, family members, what have you. And he's like, nope, go pack up everything. We're going to the land of the dead. And she's like, no, I don't want to do this. And everybody else is like, you have to. You got to do this. He's getting really upset. You don't want to really make him upset, do you? You don't want to make your husband upset. Like this title of the story is A Considerate Husband, and he's pulling a hissy fit that his wife won't come and be dead with him. It was funny. And she's like, all right. And she goes and gets all her stuff, and she lays down next to him. She goes, this is ridiculous. And then boom, she's dead. And then he's dead too. And then yeah, end of story. It was like a one-page thing. It's hilarious. All right, so, I don't know the point of it, but anyways, it was funny. Chinese myths and folktales. Right. All right. So I read another story from the Shape as a World collection, Volume 5. And this one was called The Bones of Heroes by Chadwick Ginther. And hope I pronounced that right, sir. But this was a pretty cool story. it was these bunch of mercenaries, and they were hunting down what they think was a dragon. They think they're hunting down a dragon, and they are kind of. And it was pretty cool how it all played out. There was a lots of themes of othering and colonialism, and how these mercenaries weren't looking upon the local populace as real people and stuff. And they eventually find out that there's really no glory to be found here. And so it was a pretty cool, pretty cool executed theme. Nothing we haven't seen before, but it was well executed, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed reading this story. So far, the three stories I've read out of this Shape of the World Volume 5 have all been really good hits. And so I would recommend going and checking this out based upon the three stories that I've read so far. I think there's I don't know, 9, 10 in here, so 12 maybe. So up next, well, we read another one next month, right? Awesome. All right. So what else? Yes. I also read another section out of Fall and Ascent for my nonfiction stuff. Individuation in the Malazan Book of the Fallen by Michael Woods. And this is a Jungian analysis of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. I read the section on House of Chains in here, and fascinating dissemination of the the psychological aspects that fall into the Jungian sphere of House of Chains. And I did that because the Malazan read along on Page Chewing is coming up to House of Chains next. So I figured I'd get that in just to follow along with how they're doing with that read along. All right. So that's everything I read, I think. Oh no, wait, no, I read some magazines too. Can't forget the magazines. All right. I read another issue of the new Criterion September 2025 issue. And once again, I gotta let it out there that I can't stand the editors. I don't like their commentary. And because they're just overly obviously political, and it just that bugs me. But there were some pretty good entries in here, specific entries, and one was the let's see here. There was a life. Oh crap. There was a yes. There was a article on a historian, a Jewish historian who lived in Rome during the Roman times, and that was a pretty good article. And there was another article on Sir Byron Scott. Is it, who? No, Sir Walter Scott. I'm sorry, the guy who wrote Ivanhoe. A nice little article about his life story. So that was actually pretty cool. And then there was a article about the Minoan civilization dealing, on Crete, the island of Crete in the Aegean Sea, and that was pretty cool. And then there was another little article about Jane Austen and her career and stuff, and so that was pretty cool. So ugly commentary aside, there were some pretty good articles, so I like to get the because I like to get other perspectives, so I like to I'm checking this magazine out, and I'll keep checking out until the subscription runs out, and then I'll stop. But not bad. All right, then we also have another issue of Free Inquiry, and this is the science versus ideology issue. So some really interesting articles in here. No matter what side of the debate you come down on, this one is all about a conversation. it's about a conversation between everything, a conversation, and on humility, humanity, and stuff like that. So there's you got to have these conversations about sciences and ideologies and stuff like that. So that helps. It helps, and it's what we need in today's world. All right, so what am I going to read next month for? This is cool. For our next episode, my next episode of the Short Fiction Side Hustle, we are going to be delving into Stephen Donaldson's Daughter of Regals and Other Tales. We're going to be reading the first story in here, which is called Daughter of Regals. It's a novella length story. It's about 80, 90 pages. And so, yeah, we'll be delving into that. And hope to have a couple of new guests on the show. I think we're all set with those new guests, and so look forward to that. It's going to be fun. I'm also going to be reading Ubik by Philip K. Dick. It's part of the next Sci-Fi Masterworks read, and yeah, looking forward to a little more Philip K. Dick because his stuff has been very interesting so far. Mostly good, some but mostly pretty damn good. All right, so I think that covers everything. Read a lot and having fun doing it. Yeah. Song of Mysteries, guys. Wow, I'm done. Wow, I'm done. Cool. All right. With all that said, please be good to each other, and thank you.
Never won the conversation. Give me silence or a song. Composing all emotion, 'cause assumptions can be wrong.